Hi friends, today let's dive into The Lion King. Have you ever noticed the lack of cubs in this movie? Because I have. What's up with that?
Hey, what's going on here?
Lion prides normally have between 10 and 15 individuals, not including the cubs. Lionesses will often coordinate having their cubs at around the same time so that it's easier to coordinate nursing and looking after them because all the lionesses of the pride will share looking after all of the cubs.
Simba, I'm kinda in the middle of a bath.
And it's time for yours.
When all of the cubs are the same age, it's much easier to look after them because there's not the bigger ones trying to bully the little ones and those kind of problems.
Ha!
Lionesses normally have 2 to 3 cubs, but this can range from 1 to 6 depending on how much food is available. And I think that that's the answer here. In the movie, we only see Simba and Nala, who seem to be very close in age, which works with what I was saying earlier on about coordinating so your cubs are around the same age. However, they are their mother's only cubs, and they are the only 2 cubs in a pride of about 10 adult lions. We know that shortly after Mufasa dies, there's less food, and the lionesses have to hunt for longer and go further away to get enough food for the rest of the pride.
It's dinner time, and we ain't got no stinking entrees.
This is in part due to the crazy amount of hyenas that now need to be fed, but could it also just be a greater lack of food? If the food source had already started to run low before Mufasa died, even before Simba was born, this means the lionesses would be having less, if any, cubs. This would be a good way of managing the little amount of food that's left, because the less lions need to eat, the more food each lion can get. This would explain why instead of there being several litters with many different cubs, there was only 2 cubs for the whole pride. I can hear you now, but we see loads of animals throughout the movie. There's loads at the opening sequence, and even just throughout the movie there's loads of gazelles and antelopes and things for the lions to eat. Well, remember this?
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Anything outside of Mufasa's territory is out of bounds for the pride. And we know, thanks to Lion King 2, that there are other prides who live right outside of these boundaries.
Who are you, Pridelander?
It's possible that the areas outside of the territory will bring in more animals. Maybe there's a bigger waterhole or there's more shade, and therefore the animals will leave the pride lands. If the animals have left the pride lands, the lionesses just can't hunt them anymore. It's outside of their territory and they can't go into a different pride's territory. When Simba returns, it coincides with better weather and there's a lot of rain, which means more water for animals to drink. It also means that all of those hyenas who came and were eating up all of the food are now gone, which means that the food source that's left can now be shared between the lions. When Kiara is born, and even as she grows up throughout the second movie, we see that there's still no other cubs but her. This shows that though there is a bit more food available to the pride, there still isn't enough for them to have loads of cubs. However, in what's known as the Outlands, which is one of the territories outside of Simba's territories, we see that they do have a few more cubs. We see at least 1 young lion and 2 younger cubs, which shows that they probably have a little bit more food than the Pride Lands would. Merging the 2 prides at the end of the second movie is not only a political way of keeping the peace, I guess, but it also allows this now mega pride to have a huge territory, which means more luck in hunting, which means more food, which is just better for everyone. Are you an only child? Please tell me in the comment section down below. If you want to see any of the other videos I've done, you can click here to see how The Lion King and Zootopia are possibly linked, or you can click here and find out all about Genie. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and I hope you consider subscribing. Until next time, happy babbles!